Wuthering Waves. It is a game that not too long ago, many in the community were quite skeptical about. There was this lingering feeling, almost a quiet consensus, that it had hit its peak. You would hear whispers or sometimes outright declarations that it was going to slowly or maybe even quickly go downhill from there. The logic was simple, if a bit pessimistic. How could they possibly top what they had already done? But if there's one consistent thread with Kuro Games and Wuthering Waves, it is proving those doubters wrong. Time and time again after each update, the game has just improved. Meticulously, steadily, they have chipped away at issues and built on strengths. What we have now in this current version of Wuthering Waves genuinely feels like the best iteration of the game we have ever played. It is more refined, more robust, and simply a better experience overall. And the evidence for this isn't just anecdotal, you can see it in the numbers. Recently, Wuthering Waves climbed to the 6th spot on Steam's global top sellers list. Think about that for a moment. It wasn't just on the list, it impressively surpassed major well-established titles like Helldivers 2 and the possible winner of Game of the Year, Expedition 33. This isn't some fleeting moment of popularity, this signals a genuine, sustained upward trajectory for the game. It shows real, tangible success. This continuously growing, improving, robust, and now demonstrably successful game environment. That is the fertile ground 𝗖𝗆𝗵𝗵 is arriving into. And that is precisely why her own success isn't just about her individual merits, it is built on the very foundation of Wuthering Waves' own resurgence and its newfound stability. Let's get into it. After seeing the sheer scale of the marketing push for 𝗖𝗽𝗆𝗆𝗵𝗁, and honestly, that was something else. We are talking 𝗖ście𝗽𝗆𝗆𝗵𝗁 himself leaking attack animations, the story cinematics hitting #1 on Bilibili, literal advertisements projected into the Tianfu Twin Towers, the kind of budget that makes you wonder if they're a HoYoverse game. Naturally, the thought crossed many minds. Okay, they went all out for 𝗖𝗽𝗆𝗆𝗵𝗁, they just poured everything into that. Surely they're going to slow down now, maybe even give up on the next character. I mean, who cares about 𝗖𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗵𝗁 after that, am I right? It is a reasonable assumption for a lot of companies. But what we have seen from Kuro Games, it has been a consistent pattern. It is a deep commitment to all of their characters, even 𝗖𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗁𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗁 wasn't quite as meteoric in terms of those massive global ad placements like 𝗖𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗁 was still incredibly effective. And frankly, quite refined. We got 3 key official videos from the Wuthering Waves channel. There was the Resonator Combat Showcase, which gives us a taste in her in-game moves, and then the main Resonator Showcase, which dove deeper into her character, and of course, a dedicated music video, which is a nice touch. The reactions to these videos, they have been overwhelmingly positive, very well received. It shows that Kuro Games has stepped up their game when it comes to building hype for their characters, not just through sheer advertising brute force, but through quality content that genuinely connects with the player base. This strategic shift in how they market, moving from grand spectacles to a more focused, high-quality content, points to a deeper understanding of what truly makes players care about a character. And that understanding, that connection, is exactly what sets the stage for 𝗖𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆𝗆 and making you, the player, genuinely want a character. Like seriously, when is the last time you felt like, oh, this is an easy skip? I doubt that is the feeling. They get you invested in their personalities, their backstory. It creates what some people call a parasocial bond. You feel like you know them, like they are part of your world. Just like you and me, viewer. We are friends, aren't we? You're my family. You're my brother. You know what? And for 𝗶𝗶𝗵𝗵, this whole process really kicked off with the introduction of 𝗖𝗽𝘆𝗵𝘁.
Oh, cool.
Damn, dude! A whole new area. Welcome to Amphorius. Okay, dude.
The new region, that entire narrative arc, the part of the story was crucial. It allows us to dive deep into 𝗶𝗶𝗵𝗆's world to understand why she is a gladiator, her battles not just in the arena but against the corruption around it, and her journey to find and define her own wolf pack. Damn, that was a bar, dude. When you watch streamers react to that peak 𝗖𝗽𝗆𝗆 introduction, or when they meet 𝗶𝗶𝗵𝗆 for the first time, you can just see it. That is real emotional investment being built. And then you have the showcases themselves. The Resonator showcase, the cinematic one, was just stunning. People were absolutely blown away by the visuals, the way it seamlessly blended 2D and 3D animation. That is a difficult trick to pull off, and they nailed it. The camera angles were dynamic, really pulling you into the action. The story resonated deeply. Her partner's betrayal, 𝗶𝗶𝗆's incredible resilience to overcome it, her whole badass persona, and unique gladiator theme, it all hit hard. And the Resonator combat showcase backed that up. People praised the amazing visuals and insane animations, highlighting her dynamic combat style. You can see the fluidity using her weapons, her powerful abilities, her ultimate, those smooth, almost dance-like movements. performance. It just makes you want to get your hands on her in-game. But what really made 𝗶𝗶𝗵𝗁 stand out for many, myself included, is her unique sound. The music for 𝗶𝗶𝗵𝗁 was crafted by 𝗶𝗴𝗵𝗵𝗁, a really prominent musician who is well known for his work with Riot Games, specifically for games like League of Legends and Valorant. If you're familiar with the competitive scene for those games, you know they have these huge esports tournaments. They're basically modern-day gladiator tournaments, am I right? And 𝗶𝗴𝗵𝗵𝗁 has a knack for creating music that perfectly captures that high-stakes, intense fighting spirit. So having him work on 𝗶𝗶𝗵𝗁's theme just makes perfect sense. It really hammers home her gladiator persona. And while not everyone might instantly connect with that style of music, for those of us who have been deep in the Valorant scene, consistently following their franchise tourney matches, this song just hit the spot. It truly captures 𝗶𝗶𝗵𝗁 as that kind of relentless winning fighter. So this holistic approach to 𝗶𝗶𝗵𝗁, her deep lore, her striking visual design, and this unique resonant sonic identity, it all works together. It creates this immense desire to have her, and that desire, that wanting, is then directly amplified by how well she performs in the game itself. Because for a gacha character to truly succeed, they have to deliver in gameplay as well. This is where 𝗶𝗶𝗵𝗁's kit really shines, because it is built with this interesting balance. She is undeniably powerful, but also remarkably user-friendly. Hear me out. First off, she is genuinely easy to pick up and play. You don't need to be some kind of gaming savant to make her work. She has this clever built-in dodge helper that basically gives you an extra free dodges in a fight, which is incredibly forgiving, and her special moves, the ones that really make her shine and help your team, charge up without much effort. This means whether you are a seasoned player who knows all the tricks or someone just starting out, you can get her doing cool stuff and being effective pretty quickly. And don't mistake easy to use for weak. 𝗶𝗶𝗵𝗁 is an insane fusion character. Think of fusion as her element, right? Like fire. She makes her teammates stronger, especially or specifically other characters who also use that fiery fusion damage, all while dishing out a lot of damage herself. Her special kit, the one she uses as she leaves the field, gives a big boost to the next character that comes in, making them hit harder. It is a fantastic pairing for other powerful fusion characters. Another smart design choice is that you don't need to break the bank to make her good. You don't need her fancy exclusive special weapon to get great results. She works really well with common weapons that are easier to get your hands on. This is a massive win for anyone who doesn't want to spend a fortune or for free-to-play players. Plus, her damage isn't just a big burst and then nothing. She hits a lot of enemies at once, very consistently too. This spread out damage makes her super valuable in fights when you're up against many opponents, like in the challenging Wuthering Waste. Even if a few of her smaller bonuses don't fully kick in there, the main damage is more than enough. And while her basic moves are simple to grasp, if you do want to get really technical, there are ways to swap characters super efficiently to maximize damage, but that is a choice, not a requirement. However, let's be real. When something sounds this good, there is usually a but. And you're right, there is a few things to consider with 𝗶𝗶𝗵𝗁. While she is generically user-friendly, getting her to absolute peak performance does come with a specific quirks. For one, she really shines brightest in teams where almost everyone uses fusion damage. She is not a character you can just plug into any random team and expect top results. She thrives when she is surrounded by her fiery comrades. Also, she does like to stay on field for a decent chunk amount of time to do her full routine and apply all her buffs. This can sometimes feel a little bit clunky if your other teammates have a very quick, short-lived buffs that you want to perfectly line up. You might lose a little bit of those quick boosts, and that powerful special buff that she gives when she is leaving the field, it disappears fairly quickly if you swap characters too fast. So if you're the kind of player who likes to rapid fire swap characters, you need to be very precise to make sure you actually get that boost. It means while she can be swapped, doing it perfectly requires a little bit more active thought. Finally, to get 𝗶𝗶𝗵𝗁's team truly performing at the very top, the absolute highest level, you're often looking at investing heavily in 3 characters, not just one main damage dealer. Unlike some teams where one super strong characters carry everyone else, 𝗶𝗶𝗵𝗁's best team often needs all 3 members to be quite well built. That can mean more time, more farming, and potentially more pulls, just to reach that highest tier of damage. So, is she still user-friendly with all these points? Yes, for sure. She is friendly to start with. You can pick her up, use her easily, and she will feel powerful. But to unlock her absolute maximum potential, the kind that might break records, that is where the nuances come in, and you might need a bit more dedication to her specific team needs. When we look at 𝗶𝗶𝗵𝗁's emerging success, it is pretty clear. It is not just some lucky accident. It is actually the culmination of a few things. It is Kuro Games having this much more mature understanding of how to develop a character, and critically, how to market them effectively. 𝗶𝗶𝗵𝗁, in a way, embodies Wuthering Waves' entire trajectory. Like the game itself, she has arrived after a period where there were definitely doubts, but both the game and this character have steadily, quietly overcome those questions and truly found their stride. They have reached a new peak, you could say. Her appeal is holistic realistic. It is not just one thing that makes her work, it is that deep integration into the story, making you feel a connection. It is the striking visual design and animations that are simply a joy to watch. It is the unique sound design, that music that truly captures her essence, and then, crucially, it is a kit that both incredibly powerful and surprisingly player-friendly. This comprehensive approach to character release, where every aspect seems to be considered and executed with a quiet confidence, it really feels like setting a new standard on how successful characters are rolled out in the gacha space. But I am curious to hear your thoughts, considering Lupa's overall approach, from how her story is woven in to her approachable yet potent gameplay. Do you think this kind of holistic strategy represents the new benchmark for gacha character success, or are there other elements you find even more impactful when you're deciding to pull for a character? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below, but that is all from me, 𝗖់𝗽𝗆𝘆𝗵𝗁, and I will see you in the next one. Cheers!